Brought to you by FruitNet Media, this is Fruitbox.
Hello and welcome to Fruitbox, FruitNet's series of conversations about the fresh fruit and vegetable business with me, Chris White. Every week I talk down the line from here in London with people from across the world of fresh produce about some of the biggest issues they face today. I want these 15-minute conversations, which we broadcast once a week, to give you the best insight into how to do better business in fresh fruits and vegetables. Now, this week I want to turn our attention for a moment to Latin America, where summer is fast turning to autumn and another season of shipping fresh fruit is coming to a close. Today I'm joined down the line from Buenos Aires in Argentina by Juan Gonzalez Pita, the founder and sales director of Salix Fruits. Juan, welcome to Fruitbox.
Hi, Chris. Thank you for inviting me to join your podcast.
It's great to have you here. Now, at Salix, you're celebrating your 10th anniversary this year. You've come a long way in a short time. So take me back to the start of the last decade when you founded your business with your business partner, Luis Elortondo. What gap did you see in the market then? And is that gap still there now?
Basically, like you said, well, I come from Argentina, from South America, which is I would say it's pretty far from the center of the world, if I may say. So, which is the Northern Hemisphere, where the consumption is and the money is and the wealth of the world is. And I realized that there were a lot of business opportunities in the Middle East, even in Latin America and in Asia or Southeast Asia, especially as well. People were not paying attention to there, so I just focused there and relying on technology first. We started with email marketing campaign. I was thinking how to reach these people, from my tiny office when I started, and then I did, and funny story, I started making Google Adwords, which is now everybody knows. But back then I had a friend and he came to me and said, listen, Juan, nobody in your industry is doing Google Adwords. You should do it. You're going to get a lot of leads for very little money. So I just started doing it myself and started getting like 5 to 10 leads every single week, and especially from those places, from England, from Bangladesh, from Sri Lanka. From all the Middle East. So I started focusing there and started offering to the network of growers that I had, and basically, start, of course, to taking planes, because there's nothing like. I don't know if you remember. I was there with you in the first Middle East conference.
I do remember.
Yeah, in 2010. And that was my very first time in Dubai. And now after that, now it's one of our biggest markets. But basically, right now, people are catching up. So what we are doing, we're trying to take it to the next level. In terms of technology, we're developing an app. I'm gonna, talk to you about that a little bit later, more in detail. But that's basically how we started. Yeah.
And you were joined, just a couple of years ago by Alejandro Morarejo, who I know very well from San Miguel, who's now your CEO, and Daniel Calvo, who was the CFO at San Miguel. They say to make a company successful, you always need a point of difference. And do you agree? And if so, then what do you see your point of difference to be?
I have a friend of mine. Hopefully, she's listening to this podcast. She's in the business, and she told me, Juan, you bought some gray hair from yourself, like saying, you bought experience. You brought people in. Basically, they brought a lot of experience. They have 10 years older than me, 15 years in some cases, and they have a great reputation. They have a lot of market knowledge. They have a lot of professionalism. I value myself as an entrepreneurial guy, but I didn't have any expertise like in big corporations like San Miguel is, which is. And they just came here and basically they did. Listen, the toilet has to go to the bathroom, and the stove has to be in the kitchen, and the sofa in the living room, and that's how you build a house. And that was key to us. And we started growing at incredible rates once they showed. But I mean, certainly we did a very good base for them to, develop all their knowledge. Yeah.
Now, Juan, you're from Argentina. You guys are all from Argentina, and Buenos Aires is your hometown, and that's where you've been located, and that's where you're speaking to me today. And you've been there for much of the last year because of this COVID crisis, of course. But like everybody else in our business, and you talked about this a moment ago, you spend much of your time on the road, traveling around the world, meeting your customers and suppliers in markets all over the world. So how has this pandemic, if at all, changed your approach to business? Do you think it has?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I will be speaking about this to all our colleagues around the world. It's been quite a challenge. It's the first time in 20 years that we are not traveling. We are all tireless business travelers, and it's quite a challenge, not only from the professional side, but also in our families. Your family is used to, don't have you 24/7. Not even for 3 months, you're away from home, and all of a sudden, my father is here, and he's looking after me all the time, and I just went, or my husband is here, or my wife, so that was quite a challenge. Then when it comes to the virtual office, Salix, it was founded that way. Luis, he's based in the U.S. Daniel is based in Tucumán. And we have people scattered all over. We have offices in Chile and South Africa. So basically, that didn't change at all. It was us doing the same stuff. Everybody's very accountable for their own, duties here. So that didn't change. Of course, it did change that we were not able to meet in person with our customers and suppliers and our colleagues and whatever, the trade shows. Those were, great opportunities. Just at least you walk by people, talk for 5 minutes, and you get a glimpse of what's going on. That is not happening anymore. So, but basically what we did is, for example, we just increase our marketing budget, because the way we see it is we need people, not to forget that we are there. We also are doing a very extended use of social media, which is now, people, they're not watching TV anymore. They're just spending their time in their phone. And Instagram, it's what a magazine used to be. You can picture, our mothers in the hairdresser, like in the beauty salon, just taking a look at magazines. Now they're just taking a look at the at their phones. I found out that people in our business spend an awful lot of time on LinkedIn, because the way they see it, instead of wasting time, let's say on Facebook, they can use the same time finding useful information on a social media website or a tool that is giving them stuff that they can use. They can get updated, they can connect with people. So, and we are investing heavily there, not that much in terms of money, but in time, in developing. Yeah, exactly. Pieces of advertising or content or high quality videos, because we just want to show the people, even though we're not traveling there, we just want to show them that we're still here and we're still in the business and growing.
Well, I'm certainly, I use LinkedIn a lot, and we've launched our new magazine apps this year, and we've found a really great uptake for them. So we're with you on that. Now, you've got 80 growers in 18 countries, 400 customers in 57 countries all over the world. How do you maintain focus? That's what I'd like to know. Your slogan is fresh people, always in season. It trips off the tongue very easily. It's easy to say, but it must be rather more difficult to meet that objective, no?
Yeah, especially when you always try to provide, top service, and also when you want to build bonds with the customers and the growers. So, I mean, basically there are a couple of key things that we always travel, be there, meet people face to face. For that, what we are doing, which is putting one salesperson per each, region that we are targeting. So basically they're being specialists on that. Also, we have one product manager per each fruit that we deal with. Like Alejandro, for example, with all the experience he has in lemons, he's just like our product manager in lemons. And then, but we also rely a lot on the on technology. As I said, we have developed an application. We started doing it like 3 years ago. We saw that there was some opportunity there just to bring technology into a business that hasn't made any major innovations. There's one thing about this business: there haven't been many, major innovations. Products are being all the same. Maybe you get like new varieties, but apples are still apples, pears are still pears. I would say the only innovation that we had in the past has been not the avocado itself, but the way people are consuming even more avocado every single time. That's the only thing that comes, I just spend some time thinking about it, and that's like the only one thing that you see. This has changed in the past, let's say, and we're talking on a time frame of 20 years. You don't have like an iPhone that totally changed the way phones are used and stuff. There's nothing like that. So they say we are developing an app, and now we are being quite successful. The way we see it, at least now 50% of our operations are coming through the app. We have customers just logging in and placing their orders. Of course, all the workflow. Again, 85% is done on a WhatsApp or Skype or phone or email or whatever. But then all the workflow in the back office, it's done via the app, and that's given us a lot of tools and way to improve our operation and the productivity that we're doing. So.
I remember you showed it to me when we met last time in Berlin, and it's very, very impressive, and is the result of a huge amount of work. So business for you is all about this relationships business, and it's all about, as it were, the kind of nuts and bolts, the business that you've just talked about. Are these the kind of two essentials, or are there other things that you would point to? And what advice, if you were to give advice, would you give to somebody who's just starting out now in the business?
I would say the main problem of this business is that we are dealing with perishable products, and once somebody told me this is a live stuff, the fruit, but somebody else told me no, this is a dead stuff. Once you're harvesting an apple, it'll die eventually. It'll rotten. Maybe it'll do it in 18 months, in about a year or whatever, but it'll rotten. So then you are going to have problems all the time, and then what you have to do, you have to trust the people you have on the other side. So I would say that's the key of this business, to trust the other person, the one that is sitting across the table. Even if it's a customer, even if it's a colleague, a peer, you need to maintain good relationship with even your competition. And then my advice would be, based on that, you have to be patient. This is not a business that you will build from one day to another. It takes a lot of time because you have to develop relationships. First, you have to focus on the people, and then on the business. Business will come eventually. You can't do business with someone you don't trust, and to trust that people, you can buy trust. You can buy an iPhone because and it's something, but I have to trust you if I'm going to buy an apple and it's going to travel 45 days, and I do have to know that it's going to arrive on a good condition, and then I have to trust that you're going to pay to me. So basically, I think it's trust. So and one last thing: whenever you walk on a trade show, somebody told me, just look on the people that they can walk right in the middle of the aisle. That's people you can trust because they don't need to hide. Do not trust the people that are just walking,
around
on
the sides.
Exactly.
That's a good tip. Now, last question. You're a global supplier to global markets. Tell me, from there where you sit today, how do you assess them? Is Asia is Asia kind of where the action is, do you think, or is it? How do you see Europe, and what do we need to watch for in the United States, in your opinion?
I mean, first of all, we have to understand that we, people from the West Hemisphere, we think that we are in the center of the world, and we always did, but actually we are not. Have you ever seen a map, from a Chinese company? They are in the center of the world. The center is not Europe. The center is China in that map. So basically, how do we assess them? We just try to understand them. We just try to go and visit them, which is like, for example, to the Chinese people, we communicate via WeChat because that's what they do,
Sure.
And I mean, it's not that we just keep pushing with WhatsApp. It's not going to work there, so we need to adapt all the time. The same with the Middle East, Still, many people don't know that the Friday is a holiday for them, like a Sunday for us. And we do see that the action is coming. Of course, it's coming there. Europe and the U.S., it's been a quite stable business for the past few years. But now, again, I'm not going to say something that we haven't heard in the past, let's say, 18 months, which is this new normal. How is this going to affect our business? Basically, we're going to have less HoReCa, hotels, restaurants, and catering, because we don't know how people are going to behave from now on. Even though we're vaccinated or whatever, do you think our people are just going to get into a plane for 15 hours the way they used to be? Are they going to go into a theater feeling the same way? We really don't know. You cannot tell for sure that things are going to be the same, or how long it'll take for those habits to change. So basically, that's changing consumption everywhere, and consumption. For example, it's affecting a lot, the flow of goods everywhere in the world, and that's, affecting shortage of containers that should be allocated somewhere. There's somewhere in China because they're not Chinese goods coming into, the West and stuff. And do you think that people are going to, business travelers are going to be traveling the same way they did? No. And that's going to have a huge impact on all the hotels and stuff, and that's going to, you buy a lemon for your home and you squeeze that lemon until, up to the last drop. A restaurant, they just use it maybe only once. Mm. So, and that's going to change the consumption, because that lemon that the restaurant is using just maybe to decorate your course, it's not going to be there. Mm. And on the other hand, you're eating more at home, so you are being a more responsible consumption. On the other hand, we are seeing that people are valuing health a lot. And basically, we are in a very good business because we are in a healthy food business. So that'll see people eating more and more fruits and vegetables because they are aware of a healthy snack. They're just going to start replacing, hopefully, cookies for an apple or for grapes or whatever. And again, you see these, the huge consumption of citrus that we had last year due to the vitamin C. Do you think that one is going to go from dry day to no? And that's going to change. That's totally going to change the map. For example, for oranges, they just used to be a commodity. Now they're just a scarce item. And that's going to affect the industry everywhere. You're seeing China paying like $25-30 for grapefruit now. Europe paying, I don't know, 15. Even sometimes they just ended up paying like 20 euros for a 15 kg box of oranges out of South Africa, when 2 or 3 years ago they were paying, I would say, 7 or 8. There are a lot of things and those things are just going to happen in Europe and in the US, where everybody's thought that the market or the business was at a total stagnation, and it's not. But, I think the worst thing is that we don't know where this is going. We don't know what about the new strains, what's going on, So are you guys being vaccinated? Is there going to be a new strain? Nobody does that. Every time you open a newspaper, thinks you read people saying totally the opposite that they used to say like a year ago. And that's going to affect their business, definitely, too.
Well, I think the fruit business in many ways is perfectly set up for these kind of changing times, because they're used to change all the time. Juan, that's all we've got time for today on Fruitbox. I was joined down the line from Buenos Aires by Juan Gonzalez Pita of Salix Fruit. Juan, thank you so much for coming on Fruitbox today.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and hope to see you in the near future in one of these trade fairs that we really...
I hope so too. Now, you can find today's conversation with Juan and the many others I'm having here at Fruitbox on our website, fruitnet.com. Let me know if you've got any more interesting ideas that you want to hear discussed here on Fruitbox. Do stay tuned and make Fruitbox your regular listen through 2021. Juan tells me he listens to it on his walk to work every day. So where do you listen? I'd love to know. As I said, we post every episode on our website, and I also share them through my profile on LinkedIn. So please do reshare to your followers too, and big thanks from me in advance. That was Fruitbox, and this is Chris White. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.
To sponsor a future episode, please email advertising@fruitnet.com. You can follow us on Twitter @FruitNetLive. And don't forget you can keep up to date with all the latest fresh produce industry news at fruitnet.com.